Hello there. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
That's right. I'm about to monologue, son. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is where I personally feel that the series started to fall off the rails. I know I'm going to get pushback for saying that, but at the same time, listen to me. It was established, and I've complained about this before, it was established that the wizards wear robes on campus at all times. But in this movie, they stopped doing that. They started wearing muggle clothing, like, through every scene. The only time they were wearing their robes was in classes. That was basically it. Everywhere else, they were wearing their muggle clothes. The only exception was really, like, Christmas or something like that. But it's just like, I'm watching, and it just doesn't feel like Hogwarts anymore. It doesn't feel like the magical world. It just feels like I'm watching a fantasy at this point. Yes, it is. But I don't know if I'm getting it across what I'm saying. But that was literally it. And of course, the biggest issue when you introduce time travel, it becomes a huge issue if you don't do it properly. But I gotta say, I know I've heard some arguments where it's the dumbest thing, but at the same time, it did work in this movie because everything that happened was supposed to happen. Like, Dumbledore already knew that they were going to go back in time. Dumbledore already knew that they were going to save Buckbeak. Dumbledore already knew that they would save Sirius Black. Dumbledore already knew these things because he was there seeing that Buckbeak had disappeared. So it's one of those things just like, I can give it a pass. I can give it a pass because I don't exactly tell you that or show you that Buckbeak died. So it's like, I will give it a pass. My big issue was with the clothing of all things. Of all things, it was the clothing. And I know how bad that sounds because that is really nitpicking right there. Because everything else was okay. Sure, in the original book that Lupin did not allow Harry Potter to stand in front of the Bogart at all because he was afraid it would become Voldemort. But in this one, he literally jumps in front after seeing it becomes a Dementor. And I gotta say, the Dementors in this one are actually the best looking. I absolutely do love the hooded, cloaked, death-like look. Later on, I don't care for them. I don't care for how they look. I think they look spookier. It's the mystery that made them scary. The absolute mystery that I fell in love with. But then you introduce them later on, and it's just like, is that what they look like under their hood? I mean, we kind of had a glimpse of their lips. A glimpse of what they might look like, but when you actually see it, it's just not that scary anymore. Yeah, it's one of those things that is just like, this movie, they did it well. The dark, cloaked, shady figures, they float through the air in a ghost-like manner. It's creepily done. Their fingers, all those little things, all those little details work. They absolutely work. Yeah, again, my biggest issue is just the clothing in this movie. And that tends to be my issue over and over again. I do enjoy it. I mean, that's one of those things, the Marauders map, things like that which you introduce, which kind of negate a ton of stuff later on, especially if the Weasley twins had the Marauders map. You know they would have noticed a lot of things that were strange. I mean, especially the fact that Peter Pettigrew is always with Ron Weasley, and they didn't ask him who Peter Pettigrew was. They had no clue. I mean, that's one of those things just like, you guys used that map to get into mischief your first year. And if it was your first year, that means your oldest brother was there, and he had Peter Pettigrew at the time. So you would have seen your oldest brother with Peter Pettigrew. I understand you not asking him because it's just one of those things that you just accept. It's like your oldest brother. He's probably got friends. You don't fit in. But your younger brother is hanging out with the same dude and you don't ask questions. See, that's the thing. I find little things and start to nitpick. I mean, yeah. The robes, the Marauders map, little things that you introduce. I'm still on edge about the time travel because you introduce that. One wizard's willing to sacrifice himself to destroy Voldemort for the rest of the wizarding world. But then Does that fracture time? And that's the thing. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole for Harry Potter. I think they did it okay with the movie they used it in. And then they just stopped talking about it altogether. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.